Good evening, everyone. As I call to order the regular school board meeting of Independent School District number 882, it is 5 p.m. on a Monday, the 3rd of November. I'd like to note that school board member Melissa Curtis is missing this evening, but we still do have a quorum. So if you could all please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now looking for approval of this evening's tentative agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Casey Root, seconded by Jeff Hegle. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes 5-0. All right, now moving on, we do not have any citizen comments this evening, so now we'll move on to item number 5, fiscal stability, looking for action on our consent agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Casey Root, seconded by Jeff Hegle. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes 5-0. On to item number 6, collaborative connections. I would like to pass it off to Superintendent Eric Olson to go over the acceptance of gifts.
All right, acceptance for gifts here today. The first one is an anonymous donor, and it's actually the third installment to help students in need to the middle school. And so this $5,000 donation is from a donor that wants to continue helping students in need at the middle school. The second donation is the Monticello Rotary Club, $524 for hats, gloves, and that one is designated for all of our buildings and programs. And then the Monticello Rotary Club also with $1,280, third grade novels for Little Mountain and dictionaries for Pinewood. So a little differentiation going on this year at the third grade level, but that's a project that they've taken on for as long as I can remember. So we're talking decades. So we want to thank all of those amazing donors as they continue to help our students and the needs that they might have.
Therefore, be resolved by the Monticello School Board number 882 to gratefully accept the following donations. Anonymous, $5,000 to help students in need. Monticello Rotary Club, $524 for hats, gloves. For EEC, Little Mountain, Pinewood, and nature-based. And Monticello Rotary Club, $1,280 for third grade novels for Little Mountain and dictionaries for Pinewood third grade.
Second.
Moved by Jeff Hegle, seconded by Mayor Barthel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes 5-0. Thanks again for our community and our anonymous donor again for donating that money. So incredible. On to item B, our student representative report that we look forward to every month. So help me welcome to the podium Mr. Jordy Goerz.
Awesome. Happy to be here. I'm going to give the just general report for the high school over the last couple months. You'll see that I'm by myself today. That's because Dawson and Natasha are both with the American Legion celebrating their boys and girls state experiences. So great for them, but they left me all to myself. So we also have Alicia here tonight, and she has a program which she will talk about. But just in general update first. So fall has been moving fast. We have a success with number of teams with sections and state qualifiers. And then we also have some of our winter seasons for sports and activities already starting. Last week we had our first combined band and choir concert with all high school band and choir members. And that was a super fun experience. I was there. Many students in our building were there, as well as families. So it was a packed house, and it was super fun. We have about 3 weeks left until the end of the trimester. So with that, homeroom teachers have been making calls to home, letting parents have chances to kind of talk with their students, see where they're at, see if they're able to pick up their grades with these last 3 weeks. We also had the PSAT taking place for our juniors, and we had 46 students take that. And then finally, with the levy election tomorrow, we have had some opportunities throughout the building to pass that information on to those students who can vote and even those who can't. So the student reps, including myself, we met with Mr. Olson a couple weeks ago, and we had a podcast. So that's just another media that we put out there in order to inform people about the levy. Okay, I want to invite Alicia up here, and she has more to talk about with her program.
Hello, my name is Alicia Grew. I'm a senior at Monticello High School, and I'm truly honored to be here today to speak on the behalf of Monticello Letters of Love. I'd like to start by sharing a bit about myself and why this means so much to me. As a senior, I know my time in the high school is coming to an end. I made it a goal to leave with a meaningful impact of some kind. Over the past 12 years, I've received so much support from the Monticello community. Today, I felt like giving back was the least I could do. Today, I will be informing you on a new club I brought to Monticello High School. This is Letters of Love. Grace Burbig started Letters of Love in 2018 at Orono High School, in memory of her mom who she lost to cancer. The mission of this nonprofit organization is to create handmade cards and letters of positivity and kindness for children battling cancer and other illnesses. The cards we make are sent to local hospitals to support children right here in our community. Over 400,000 letters have been donated to patients the past 6 years by students in high schools, colleges, and universities from across the country. I applied over a year ago to become part of this organization and was interviewed over the summer by the founding members this past summer, then presented my idea of a new MHS club to our principals. They gave me full support to move forward. Monticello High School is now a member of this growing organization, which is really exciting. We've already had 2 meetings with over 30 students attending, and together we made more than 100 cards for our patients. Our club meets once a month for an hour before school in Miss Hegle's room. We have received amazing support from a couple of our community businesses, with Walmart and Quick Trip providing the snacks and refreshments for our meetings. Letters of Love headquarters funded our startup supplies. However, going forward, it will be the responsibility of our own club to replenish our supplies with fundraising and donations. So if anyone would like to contribute, please reach out. Here are a few of the handmade cards our Monticello students have made. Currently, our executive board is made up of junior and senior members, although we encourage participation from students in all grade levels. I would like to recognize our executive board, whose excitement and dedication have helped launch our program. We have Media and Support Chair Natalie Hansen, Distribution Manager Joanna Cerny, Event Coordinator Liv Free, Co-Fundraising Chair Alex Andrus and Fia Cerna, Vice President Scarlett Pearson, Treasurer Julie Deshane, and Sponsorship and Outreach Mia Morris. It is my hope that the returning members can pass along the leadership roles in years to come. All students have the opportunity to record volunteer hours for groups such as Minnesota Honor Society or to enhance their college and/or job applications. Thank you for allowing me a few moments to share details about our new club. We are proud to bring moments of happiness and emotional support to children facing challenging situations with the art of handmade cards and letters. Thank you.
All right, real quick, board, do you guys have any follow-up questions or anything to ask our student representative or Ms. Grew who came to present?
How much would you need in donations to survive a full year?
Honestly, we try to, for our fundraising, like $50. We don't expect much at all. We are doing pretty well on supplies, but with it growing so much, we have.
I have one more question. So you said you're a senior this year. So what's the plan for sustainment and continuing this amazing mission on after you graduate?
A good amount from all and our board, like I said, is juniors and seniors, so just hopefully they can move up to the next roles if they're willing to and take it in their hands of finding people who are a good fit for the next roles.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate your servant leadership here in our community, and it's awesome. So I hope you continue that even after you graduate.
As you can tell, we're all very proud of you. We're all smiling.
Fantastic. Thank you. All right, we'll move to item number C, Monticello High School Spanish Department student Costa Rica trip for summer of 2027. I'd like to welcome up Monticello High School Spanish teacher Sarah Spildy to go over the trip.
Yeah, I'm a high school Spanish teacher. I've been teaching since 2013 here. I've traveled to Costa Rica 4 times, 3 of those times with Monticello High School students. In our travel company, we use ACIS. Our purpose for our trip is to immerse ourselves in the culture and language of Costa Rica. We are planning an optional educational tour to Costa Rica for students who have taken Spanish at Monticello High School. Students will be able to apply what they have learned in the classroom in real-world situations while we're in Costa Rica. Students will interact with local people, see natural wonders, and experience everyday culture of Costa Rica. The trip will be in June of 2027. No school days will be missed for our trip. As you can see with our itinerary that we have, parent transportation to from Minneapolis Airport is the transportation that families would be responsible for. And then when we land in Costa Rica with our trip, the coach bus transportation is provided. We have an ACIS tour manager with us 24 hours a day, and we are proposing a trip for at least 12 students, 1 chaperone for every 6 students. We have in our trip 3 to 4 star hotels that we stay at, and 2 to 3 students per room. Let's see, a variety of meals are provided each day as part of our tour cost. And as you can see with our daily itinerary, this will be our map of the places that we're traveling. And then each day, I have indicated the meals provided and our itinerary of what we are planning to do. The first day we'll travel and arrive in San Jose, the capital city of Costa Rica. The second day, we're going to travel to San Carlos and view the Arenal volcano, La Fortuna town, and thermal hot springs in the evening. As you can see there, for breakfast and dinner are provided with our trip cost. Then we'll continue on the next day. The third day, we'll travel to the northern part of Costa Rica for a boat trip along the river to view wildlife and nature. Then we will continue on to Monteverde and experience horseback riding and observe and learn about nature in Costa Rica. And then the next day, day 5 of our trip, would be a canopy tour in the cloud forest and seeing kind of bird's eye perspective of the nature there with animals and plants, with zip lining and hanging bridges. Day 6, we'll travel to the Punta Arenas region and arrive more to the beach and walk on the beach and kind of explore our area there. Day 7, we'll travel to Manuel Antonio National Park with beaches and hiking trails as well. And then day 8, our last full day in Costa Rica, would be traveling back to San Jose for our last night in Costa Rica, and then traveling back to Minneapolis on day 9. For our trip that we are proposing, the prepaid cost of the trip for the students would be $3,933. This cost includes a local guide that is with us that 24 hours a day, a bus driver that accompanies our group as well. The 2 meals included, our hotels, and transportation, including airfare and bus transportation while in Costa Rica, including entrance fees and activities listed on the itinerary. We do not have any fundraisers planned at this time, Families need to provide their own funding for the trip, but students can plan and ask family, friends, and fundraise individually. Once students have enrolled for the trip, they can sign up for a monthly payment plan or a lump sum payment with that final payment deadline for February 5th, 2027. So ACIS, the travel company we've used them for our department over 20 plus years. One reason why we continue to travel with ACIS is the locations where we're staying is central to the sites and places we want to see. Students get plentiful, authentic local cuisine, full itineraries, and our tour guides are very knowledgeable and provide a really awesome experience for our students. So this is kind of what's included in the trip with all of these components provided that we discussed with our itinerary. So I have a link for the trip website and all that information for our students. Kind of our goal is just to provide this opportunity for our students to kind of apply with what they're learning in the classroom in these real-world travel opportunities. So.
All right, board, what questions do you have?
You said you've taken 3 groups of students down there before. What are some of the comments they've made when they've come back?
Truly life-changing experience for students. A lot of students decide after this trip, I want to continue with Spanish, where maybe they were unsure about. A lot of students really open up their eyes to new culture, food, especially the nature and everything that we're seeing. And it really provides them kind of, when we land, seeing their confidence grow from when we leave, of immersing themselves in the language and the culture, and just kind of taking ownership of their own learning in kind of a new way that they don't typically have in the classroom.
Have you had any problems with students not being able to afford being able to go?
I think for us, we try to present, so in 2027 in June, so giving families ample time to do payment plans, kind of fundraise, get gifts and things with that. So I think the comments, providing that time frame for them to financially plan has been helpful for them.
Thank you.
And you said as long as they take Spanish, does it matter what level?
No, so Spanish 1 or Spanish 4, it's open to any student who's been in our Spanish program, or depending if they just entered Spanish or, all the way through a higher level, it's open just to provide this opportunity for any of our students in our language program. So.
Fantastic.
Is the 1-to-6 ratio your rule, or is that ACIS?
That's ACIS, yep. So we propose 12 students, so at least 2 of us, 2 chaperones. And then depending on other enrollment, could be potential more, but 1 per 6 is for ACIS rules.
And have you always done a trip where you've moved around each day and stayed at different locations?
Yep, so these trips are, we really try to provide the itineraries that are chosen to provide students a lot of opportunities to see Costa Rica. It's so diverse with the different areas and regions, to give them a snapshot of all the different things that Costa Rica has to offer. So,
Sounds great. Thank you.
And the last 3 trips, is it pretty typical for 12 students? What's your biggest?
the last one that we went on was in 2025. I think we had, I want to say 21 or 22. So it typically ranges, I would say probably between 15, 25, maybe max would be kind of the range that we've seen in the past.
What a great opportunity. It's so awesome that you do that for our students. So we really appreciate that. And I've heard only good things. So it's such a cool opportunity that sometimes they would never have the opportunity to do. Any other questions? All right, thank you. Oh, this is an action item. This is an action item, board.
Second.
Moved by Jeff Hegle, seconded by Casey Root. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. All right, now we are moving on to item D, which is a Costa Rica research trip from Seeds of Change. So help me welcome to the podium Monticello High School science teachers Courtney Nauman, Brett Christofferson, and the Seeds of Change founder, John Dolman.
Good evening. I'm Courtney Nauman.
And I'm Brett Christofferson.
And John is not with us this evening, but he is the Seeds of Change director, and he was one of the founders of this program. All right, so our purpose is slightly different than the other Costa Rica trip. Ours is actually to give the opportunity for our students to engage in hands-on field research, which as adults, we rarely have the opportunity to do that ourselves, so we want to provide that for our students. So we're planning to take an educational field trip experience to Costa Rica. We want to invite, first off with juniors, then sophomores, and possibly freshmen on this experience. John actually proposed younger is better because they do have a 2-year, a second opportunity that we could look at in the future. But we want to start with our oldest students first to give them the opportunity. They're going to do real-world experimentation that they get to design, and that is one of the cool opportunities that we will be spending some classes in advance. We're going to do 5 to 6 courses where they will be doing scientific background knowledge as well as the scientific method to get them prepared for this trip. And then we are going to experience also some different adventures while we are there. We are scheduled, we did talk to John for June 11th to the 20th. So again, it is this summer coming up and no school days will be missed. And this is just how we're going to propose through our presentation. So this is my 3rd year here in Monticello School District, but I've been working with students for 16 years at main range of middle school and high school. I have yet to be to Costa Rica ever, so talking about all the science background, I'm personally excited to take this opportunity.
Brett Christofferson, high school biology teacher. I actually got to student teach in Costa Rica, so I was to go there, but that was like 30 years ago. The more I drilled down on this particular program, the more excited I got of the opportunities that these kids are going to have working with actual researchers on cutting-edge fields in bioinformation, informatics is how they called it. And the incredible opportunity of seeing the biodiversity in Costa Rica, it rivals the world as far as the amount of biodiversity in such a close-knit area. It's pretty exciting. John has been bringing students down there for 25 years. He's done a ton of trips down there. He's one of the co-founders that kind of got this thing going. He's got a big background in science as far as just kind of the application, the scientific method, but applying certain, how do I put this? Applying the scientific method to solve problems. And that's kind of what this is looking for.
So if we get the opportunity to go to Costa Rica, we're going to be heading to their main airport and then doing a smaller one to the Liberia airport. And then we get to the jungle. We're going to be greeted and travel. It's about an hour and a half, the bus ride from the from the Liberia airport to this research facility. And on this research facility, it is just that. And colleges and other pieces of different education wanted pieces of it, and they have kept it out. They want it just as a research facility for students to come in to grow their knowledge in science and find their love with science. So we will have our own facility with our school and possibly one other school in attendance in that time slot. So there is the research facility. So there are cabins there that are set up from 2 to 8 students, and then we will have our chaperone cabins that are very near so that we can make sure that students are safe at all times. So this is the opportunity that Costa Rica brings. It's things that you only see on TV, you only see in movies, and we will get to see it right from the doorstep, which is exciting, especially as scientists, that this is exciting to bring our kids that opportunity. So this is the typical day that they're looking at. We'll have breakfast. Everything is provided with the cost. we get to do not only the science, but morning or afternoon excursions with lunch, and then the science research project that they will be creating. And us as teachers are so excited to have our students be the drivers of this education experience. We're actually gonna be the bystanders, which is gonna be probably awkward and uncomfortable, but we want them to do the work and see that what passions they have and bring that out in this opportunity, and then return for dinner. So here are some of the morning excursions that we're gonna experience: making chocolate, zip lining. We are going to be able to cook a meal that is with the staff that are on site.
Authentic cuisine.
Yes. A butterfly laboratory. They will teach us to surf. After the 8 days of research, we're actually going to head to the coast to look at sea turtle research as well. So this is another opportunity besides the one that we're doing on site. We're going to take a night hike so that we can see the life Costa Rica has to offer at night. Horseback riding, see double waterfalls. And then this is really the reason why we are going there, to give the students the opportunity to do their own research. This facility is doing cutting-edge research right now, trying to find problems or solving problems the world currently has, especially doing things with antibiotics and the leafcutter ants that are there. The also awesome opportunity for our students is that they get to earn 3 university credits through this program. They come from Augustana. We also have the opportunity to get scholarships and grant opportunities being in the program for when they attend college. Early admission for internships. They can also be working in a lab as a freshman rather than having to go to deeper classes. And then also early admissions to medical school. The U of M actually, for when we come back, has an opportunity for students where you can have the ones that are interested in going into the medical field or the medical research field, that career path, they would invite the students to go visit their heart lab. And they get to have kind of a one-on-one with the current students that are working in the medical field at the university. So that would just be another opportunity that students can take after the trip. Here's just some more trip details. So it would be June 11th through the 20th, again, outside of school days in the summer. It is $4,600. That includes the 3 university credits, the airfare, the lodging, the food, and all the excursions. So everything's included. We just ask that parents have that transportation to the airport before we take off, and then the transportation on the way back. If students aren't interested in university credits, that cost then is $4,450. So $50 per credit is almost unheard of in for credits at college. We do have fundraising opportunities. So the program itself has Costa Rican coffee, and so this is sold at $14 a bag, and half of it goes directly to the student for their cost. We also contacted Cub, and they'd be happy to host us for 2 days next year in 2026 for some begging and getting some fundraising opportunities that way. And if we need to, we want to add additional opportunities for our students with maybe a car wash or other restaurants who are willing to donate a percentage of funds if we can get that. We just want to get as many kids there as possible, and if money's an issue, we want to help out. And that's what we have.
How many schools are visiting this location throughout each year? Because you talked about one school
They
that has
tend
a
to, I
time
believe,
slot.
have them all filled. When I met with John earlier, he was getting the schools in line, and a lot of the schools go year after year. So the time slots are put forth. I don't actually know the number of schools that attend, but 2 per 10-day stint in the summer.
Okay. And then, so you've dug into it, you said, was there other programs like this in the area, or is this the only one?
This is the only one on that research facility.
And they have this is kind of the entry level, and then if you go back, they have a more in-depth level for a second trip for students.
So question, it's kind of a quick turnaround since we're talking this June.
Yes.
So how much interest do you guys already have on it, and what's the number of students that you need to get committed to by what date in order to make it a go?
We have not started seeing if there's any interest. We wanted to make sure that it was approved and ready to go. Then we have ideas like putting it on our Schoology pages. We want to promote with posters around the school.
Present within science class.
Within our science classrooms, every classroom, every student who has science will hear the message of this opportunity, because we do want to go seniors down. Right now, for each chaperone, it would be 8 students. So they're really looking from 16 to 20 students for this trip.
And then if we are short, I believe St. Michael has some kids who might be interested that we can join forces with to get the correct number of students to get down there.
Because they actually go, and I believe are over their amount allotted. So they have an overflow in our cutting, so.
How many of these trips have they done before in the past? Do you know?
Michael, do you know, Cammy?
It's a long time. Well, it sounds like an incredible opportunity. And the fact that there's college credits and opportunity for scholarships and the partnership with the U for them to, if they're interested in the medical field, is incredible. What other questions do board members have?
I'm not sure I heard it, and I don't see it here, but can you confirm that this is something that the schools are not paying for at all? It's a family responsibility or by fundraiser?
Correct, yes, they would be paying directly to Seeds of Change.
Okay, and then in the event that you have extra students signed up beyond the 20 or whatever you're thinking, how would you cut?
We would do by age first. So our oldest students, the opportunities, because if we have the opportunity to go again, those students who maybe didn't have it first could go.
And you talked about that second tier trip. Would it be required to do the first tier trip if you want the second?
Yes.
So then the following year, would you anticipate doing both?
Honestly, let's see how this year.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, that would be an opportunity to look into.
Kimmy, do you know how many school students?
Next trip is usually in the fall, so they offset it a little bit, and you don't have a ton, so it is typically like one school will go to 2 from Monticello, 2 from SDMA, 2 from wherever, and then they go to a different facility that they've built in Costa Rica, so it's a different experience.
Any other questions? This is an action item.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mary Barthel, seconded by Casey Root. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes 5-0. Congratulations. I look forward to hearing about the trip after you guys get a bunch of students there.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, moving on to item number 7, teaching and learning. I'd like to welcome up to the podium our middle school and high school orchestra director, Miss Shuttler-Stein, to talk about the 2025 Meritorious Orchestra Program Award.
Thanks for your time tonight. Over MEA break, our orchestra program was awarded the state Meritorious Orchestra Program Award. This is awarded through Minnesota String Teachers Association, which is a group of state chapter of the American String Teachers Association. Very, very cool to be awarded at this level. It's a great honor. This is my 23rd year of teaching in the district. Our orchestra program was started back in 1999 by longtime band director Doug Miller. It's just been incredible to see how much our program has grown and to be a part of that growth. One of Doug's life mottos was, "You are what you do." And this is what I do. It's so fun to share my passion of music with these students, and it's super fun to be able to get recognition. Just thank you for your continued support of our program.
Well, I can just say yes. And we want to say thank you to you because we know your position's unique. Not only are you in the middle school teaching all the young ones, but you're also in the high school, which it's pretty awesome. And I know the students absolutely love you, my daughter included. So thank you for all of your work and what you're doing with them, because we know it's a unique position here in Monticello, and we appreciate all your hard work.
I'll just give a plug for all families to not only view here tonight, but also to check out the October family newsletter, because we were able to get a great picture of Ms. Shetlerstein and Mr. Scherber in that newsletter. So Mr. Scherber traveled down to visit during the award ceremony. And so we're just honored to be part of a district that has orchestra and has such an amazing leader. It's been a great night hearing them from our teachers, whether they're representing some future trips or, in this case, an award that you brought home. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now item number 8, innovation and leadership. Help me welcome to the podium Pinewood Principal Shelley Gilmore to go over the Pinewood Elementary School Force Resolution.
Good evening, Chair Sieben, board members, Superintendent Olson. I am happy here to tell you that we are going to be building a school forest. We hope to be building a school forest at Pinewood. Our district, along with Big Lake, applied for and received a No Child Left Inside grant, which for the Monticello part gives us some equipment over at Nature Based and a forest at Pinewood. So we're working with the city of Monticello. I have staff members that are on the committee. I have retired teachers. I have parents that are on the committee. It's not Costa Rica, but it's a little bit, it's a little bit of being able to explore nature. So our STEM classes will be using that. We can use it with reading, math, science. We can do our own research experiences. So it's going to be a rather small forest, but we're excited about what it will look like in years to come.
Any questions from the board members? And this is an action item, and there's a resolution, I believe.
Be resolved that the Board of Education of Independent School District 882 hereby approves the establishment and ongoing maintenance of the Pinewood School Forest and its associated outdoor classroom located at 1010 West Broadway Street, Monticello, Minnesota 55362. Be it further resolved that the board supports the enrollment of said school forest in the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources School Forest Program for the purpose of promoting environmental education and outdoor learning opportunities for the students.
Seconded.
Moved by Jeff Hegle, seconded by Mary Barthel. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Motion passes. I'm excited to see the forest, and thank you for your hard work putting that grant together to get that to come here to Monticello. So a lot of hard work goes behind the scenes for all of our school employees and admins for all the grants that we get within the school district. So thank you. All right, next is safe and healthy culture. Item A is our first reading of policies. I will pass it over to Superintendent Eric Olson.
All right. I am going to just sit right here in my spot, and I'm going to bring you the first policy, Policy 203.2. Order of the regular school board meeting is the policy that we took a look at, and we added some language at the end in order to identify when would be an appropriate a moment of silence and proclamation. And so there was some discussion last time at a work session to try make sure that we're maybe drilling down and quantifying the times that we would bring that forward. So as you can see in section 4, that now we have made some slight changes to more clearly identify what we would do. And the policy committee, I think after I pause here, I can speak to it further, but I think was important for them to make sure that that it was somebody close to our community. We are a local school board, and there are other both legal and maybe more binding types of arrangements for people to get involved for maybe larger reasons, but local school boards doing good work for the community is what the premise of the discussion has been for the last month, I suppose. And so I'll just bring this one and pause here now for any questions or discussion.
I mean, I think are you looking for the next policy now?
I have a question. I have a question on this one. So in number 1 and 2, under Roman numeral 4, we say is a former student/employee of note of the district. So part of my questions last time this was brought forward is how measurable is this? Where do you draw the line? And that to me is pretty subjective still, unless you can describe it differently.
Yeah, I mean, I think just if it was a casual employee, substitute employee, you're giving yourself an opportunity to just recognize that it's more of a substantial position. If somebody was coming through and maybe they didn't have a lot of time in the district, maybe nobody maybe could have been subbed once. I think that is where you with that you would able to like move forward anybody who you feel has that history, but it doesn't necessarily. I mean, 1 year I think would be of note, or 6 months, or somebody newly hired that was going to on a permanent track. They would all be in that category. I think it's just to try make sure that any casual people or contracted people wouldn't be able to maybe wouldn't necessarily, I guess, be in that category. I think too, we've been able to navigate this very well, and I think you guys will continue to navigate really well. This will just give you a platform to show.
Okay.
And this is just first reading. So I'll move on to the next policy. Policy 601 has just a slight change. Policy 601 really just calls out the world's best workforce and changes the name to the current name, and that's the only recommended change at this time. This one was recently brought forward in April, so it's been through the system and very recent, but with a MSBA suggested change, changing the name of the world's best workforce, I think is the only reason that it's coming forward. Any questions on policy 601? All right, and the good news is we have another one that we've put a lot of extensive work into, and so policy 606, textbook and instructional materials. We heard from our director of teaching and learning, Laura, during policy today, but this one really just showcases the great care that the district does put into the selection of materials. And we did revisit 606.5 as well along with this. It's not here today, but there's some connections and references to it. And so we wanted to make sure that we continue to look at the multiple curriculum policies that are connected to each other. And so this one also had very, very small changes. Not any changes of note that we felt as a policy committee. And this one was reviewed about a year ago. Any questions? This is first read, but we can continue to move forward if there aren't any questions.
So for those not on the policy committee, the 606 is section 5D that was added. It's just not highlighted here, so that was the only change. But it is also just the first read, so if there's any updates or suggestions, we'll get those in before the second read.
And policy 610, field trips. This one was in need of some care. This one has not been to the board and reviewed for a long time, and so we're bringing forward this one. Just think of it as a new policy, but this one really slows down and gets everybody to think about the general nature and guidelines that guide when we go on field trips. And so instructional trips, supplemental trips, extended trips. And I think as a school board, we proved tonight who we are as a school board because we haven't taken any of these things lightly. We have a robust transportation policy, and then we have robust procedures when somebody requests a field trip. And so I think it's important for us to know that you should be very proud of what you are doing because we are requiring people to probably take more challenging measures as part of our procedures even before this policy was updated. So yeah, I bring this policy forward just to make sure that it's back in the updated fashion, but it really takes a look at those three categories that I talked about and then just talks about the regulations and the conduct of students, volunteers, chaperones, and staff on those field trips.
Under Roman numeral 2, letter A, instructional trips, the last sentence says, fees may not be assessed against students to defray direct costs of instructional trips. Are we adhering to that? I'm trying to think if there's ever been a time where there's been a class fee associated to an instructional field trip.
Yeah, I think in looking over the years, there might be some general practices for or supplemental, but then this one is really more the instructional. So instructional, something part of the curriculum to deliver a standard. We do have those field trips. We may have supplemental field trips like what we saw here tonight.
Right.
So we do as leaders, principals really are the gatekeeper of this one. But if it's if they're going in kindergarten to Hegle transportation as part of the curriculum, it's part of your regular day. There will not be a fee for doing a instructional field trip.
Yeah, so if it's required in the class as part of the class, ask the class. Charge. Yes.
And I agree with the policy, just want to make sure that we are, if in the event that we haven't adhered to that in the past for whatever reason, that we are prepared to align with the policy. If we're talking about, say, a second or third grade trip to the zoo, is that going to fall under instructional or supplementary?
I see that as an instructional field trip.
Agree.
Because it's during the course of the school day, and we're making it part of what in lieu of what we do that day. Yep.
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 Thank you.
All right, bring policy 610 forward to everybody here tonight for the first read, and it will come back again at second read at the next policy meeting, or at the next school board meeting.
Any other questions? All right, and that brings us to adjourning our school board meeting at 5:49 p.m. on Monday, November 3rd. My agenda is updating right now, so I can't really tell you when our next school board meeting will be.
The 23rd.
There it is. There we have it. Just updated. So we'll be
sorry,
meeting to
17th.
canvass the election on Friday, November 7th at 7 a.m. And then our next regular school board meeting will be on November 17th at 6 p.m. And our regular meeting this evening will be followed by a closed session pursuant to Minnesota statute, section 13D.05, subdivision 2B, for the purpose of engaging in a preliminary discussion of allegations against an employee. We will take a 5-minute break and then meet back here.